Howdy y'all, it's Anna with Always Right. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the 5 nuggets of writing advice that I love. So this video was inspired by r/writing. It's a group of people on Reddit that talk about writing. They ask writing questions. Actually, most of these are taken from it. Without further ado, let's get into them. So number 5 on my 5 nuggets of writing advice is no one will read your half-written book. So there's no point in being like, oh, I'm writing a book, and then you go off and you do things that aren't writing the book. Watching this video is not writing the book, I'm sorry. Hopefully it'll be inspiration for you, so just wait till the end. It's not a long video, trust me. No one's gonna read your half-written book. Agents aren't gonna read your half-written book. Publishers aren't gonna read your half-written book. And if you do self-publish or want to self-publish, people are not gonna buy a book that is only halfway done. So finish that book. It's worth it, it's a struggle, but don't worry about it. Just keep writing until you're done. Nugget number 4, don't use a big word when a simple one will do the job, just so you can sound smart. Number 1, you will lose your audience. Your audience will get pulled out of the reading experience if they see a word that does not match with the rest of the sentence. AKA if you use the thesaurus setting on your manuscript and you go, this is reasonable, that sounds about right, I've heard it used twice at least. Don't do it. Just don't. Because there is a chance that you actually don't know what it means. And if you do know what it means, it might not actually fit that sentence. Also, you need to take into account your audience. No, you should never write stupid because then your audience feels like you're kind of stupid. For example, if you're writing young adult, it's fine to use some big words that they may encounter and probably will encounter later in their life. Therefore, teaching them words and vocabulary that will better the reader. However, if you're using a word that no one uses in like a regular conversation or most work environments, such as climb, C-L-I-M-E, might not want to. Take into account your audience and just don't use the thesaurus feature on your manuscript. If you really feel like a word could be better utilized, then you can use a thesaurus, but always make sure that you know what that word means and that you're using it correctly. Nugget of writing number 3. A bad first draft is better than a first chapter. This little nugget sounds very similar to nugget number 5 about no one will read a half-written novel. There is no point in spending all your time, all your creativity, all your energy on writing one chapter that's really bomb when you don't have anything following it. And yes, I know that there has been some discussion, there's been some discourse about the verbiage of a bad first draft. Like, you shouldn't encourage people to write poorly in the first place. You should always aim to write at least a decent or a good first draft. I'm in the middle of revising my first book, and I can already tell you that there were bits that I actually went back and I edited to try to make it look better, to make it feel more organic. And I'm probably gonna have to cut those or at least rewrite them in my revision. So there's no point in spending all your time, all your energy doing one really good chapter instead of spreading the love, spreading the energy, creativity, time on an entire draft. For example, if you do write this perfect first chapter and you give it to a friend for them to kind of critique, kind of be a beta reader, and it's just one chapter, they're gonna go, oh, this is cool, where's the rest of it? And you go, oh no, I'm doing chapter at a time to make every chapter perfect. They'll go, why'd you have me read this? What are you doing? Why, what? How long did it take you to write this one chapter? If you say, took me a month to write this one chapter, but I think it's perfect. They'll go, okay, how many chapters are gonna be in your book? Oh, I'm gonna have 28 chapters. Really? Really? Take you over 2 years to write that book. And then you'll still have to revise it. Don't hyper focus on the quality of what you're writing or what you've written. Just focus on getting to the end of your first draft. Nuggets of writing advice I love, number 2 is, it's a long one, well-written, dynamic characters can carry even the simplest of plots. But even the most unique, detailed, exciting plots can make up for one-dimensional characters. Currently, readers prefer more dynamic characters that they can relate to or that they can kind of try to understand. Perfect example of why this nugget is true is think of fanfiction. Yeah, you remember in fanfiction? So fanfiction is kind of sometimes about the plot, follows the plot pretty closely. However, fanfiction centers more around the characters. Fanfiction is more of an exploration of the characters in the books. There's quite a few instances where fanfiction takes the characters from a story and puts them in an AU, an alternative universe, such as like a coffee shop. That's a common one that I had no idea existed until I was just like, oh. They may string the plot loosely along, such as what 50 Shades of Grey did. So basically what 50 Shades did in its old fanfiction days, where there's not much difference, if I'm being honest, between the fanfiction and the published. Anyway, was it took the characters. It took Bella and Edward and it put them into a new kind of universe, a new reality, and then 50 Shades was born. You're welcome. Keep that in mind when you're working on your book. And remember, your plot doesn't have to be so unique. It doesn't have to be just groundbreaking. Your characters need to be interesting. That's the core. Your reader is going to be spending a lot of time with your characters, so your characters need to be interesting. And number 1, my favorite nugget of writing advice is the bigger the situation, the smaller you write. Okay, you say, that sounds weird. What does it mean? It basically means that you don't write about the war. You write about the children's burnt socks. By making such a major event relatable, it'll hit home a lot harder for the reader. For example, you tell me, oh, World War II, this many people died. It was tragic. This many countries were involved. This many buildings were destroyed. This many lives were ruined. If you give me statistics, I'm just sitting here like, that's a lot of numbers. That sounds like a lot of damage. Those are my 5 nuggets of writing advice that I love. Thank you all so much for watching. If you made it this far, please click the like button. Maybe subscribe if you want. I post AuthorTube videos like these every Friday, and then I do kind of writing revision vlogs on Tuesdays. So, as always, let's get writing.